Alright guys, this one's going to be a little all over the place because I started some of this build. Basically I dragged in the 54, but I started working on the motor like a long time ago and then forgot about it and then started finishing it up not too long ago, a couple days ago, and then basically put this one in, so in case it starts weird for you, you'll know why now. Anyways. Well, I've had this motor lying around for way too long. This one was originally out of my Buick, to which I have blown it up a while back. So the plan is now to take it apart. I just threw a piston in, or had the buddy kind of threw a piston in there, but I'm gonna basically tear it down, gap all the rings, and I want to use this motor in the 54. So pretty much I'm using this. I have a GT45, I think a 44 mil wastegate. I have to confirm that, but basically just going over it and trying to make it better than what I normally would do. Normally I would just throw a high mileage motor, slam it in, call it a day. I want to give this one a fighting chance, so I'm going to gap all the rings in it, hone the cylinders quick, just because it's got a mixed match of parts in it from different motors and stuff, and we'll go from there. So basically, I'm going to give the short end of this because I am no engine builder. I know enough to be dangerous. Because I'm boosting this motor, I'm just gapping the rings. So basically all it is I'm pulling the one ring off. We're kind of squaring it up in the hole. And then I'm checking the gaps. And if they're not right, oops. See, and this motor has never been open, but it's a high mileage motor, so it's already gapped to around 27,000. So I'm pretty much just going to leave it. I'm going to check the other ring as well and go through all the pistons, do that, check the upper, basically your two rings, your two compression rings, and well, some say 25, 27, 25. That's kind of what I'm going with. I've been finding they've been kind of, so far, all the same. So it's usually around 27,000. So I don't know if this motor, it probably had almost 400,000 on it or something. Or high threes anyways. So, like the saying goes, he's a high mileage motor. The rings will be gapped perfectly. Seems to be going for that scenario so far. Anyways, I'm going to go. I got to pop the other ring off here. And we'll keep going at it. I don't think I'll bore you with that. I've never done this myself, but this is the first time doing it. But this was the first motor that was in my Buick and I broke it, so I figure I want to give this motor a fighting chance here. And now, so if the gap is not right, that one's actually bigger. You can actually sit and you just file the opening till your feeler gauge fits through there, and you're kind of golden. So one of these pistons I had broke and we had swapped out. I don't remember which one, so I'm kind of just going through the whole works. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep smashing away here till it's done. Then I can kind of get it semi-assembled, clean it up. I don't think I'm gonna paint it or anything, but at least make the motor a little more presentable. Okie doke. Still got to clean up the block and stuff. I also got to, this is as far as I can get because I'm still waiting on my valve springs. The cam I've got a bunch of my other stuff, my turbo stuff, some brakes, a few things like that. I still need some more brake parts. I'm waiting for that to come in. But I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to throw the rocker arms and stuff in it, even though I got to tear it apart again yet to do this. But I'll set the rocker arms in, cover it up so I can close it up, clean it up a bit. I got to still cut the oil pan, so I think I'm going to do that because I got to do the one for the 56 as well. So I'm just going to do, maybe that's what I'll do tonight, is I'll cut both oil pans and weld them up. As much as I hate doing it, I'll just get that done. Might check the shed, might have some spare pans that are clean already that I can just kind of do my thing. But anyways, that's where that's at. And yeah, I'll just keep plugging away here. Alrighty, so I got an email. Just told me my valve springs are in. Super cool. That means I can get the rest of this motor together tomorrow. Less the oil pan. I got to deal with that. You seen me washing those, so I'm hoping to get most of the sludge off, but they still straight up suck to deal with. I'm going to take about 1 3/4 inches, almost 2 inches out of them. I know that takes the capacity down, but it's not a big deal. It's not even, it's about a liter low. So just do your oil changes more. Not really a big deal. I'm gonna do 2 pans right away. Just double up the suck because this motor is gonna go into that 56. I've done a 55, but I did a turbo car, so this manifold was actually turned around going the other way, and then it kind of looped over to a crossover pipe. So I'm certain this is not gonna work. Like, this is gonna be in the way. So I'll have to see whether it's headers or what a guy's got to do. I'm not sure. We're gonna find out. But that's this motor and that's a different car. All I'm doing right now is I'm gonna do up both of these right away. Kind of getting everything ready for the 54. I'm going to explain what I'm doing. What I done is, I am, hindsight, had I known my parts were coming in sooner, I would have done these with the heads off, but whatever. I'm essentially doing it the way you would do it on the car. So basically I busted out a spark plug. I just brazed on a fitting. I think you can buy stuff, but whatever. This just screws in, and when you add air, it just pressurizes the cylinder, so when you take the springs off, the valves don't fall into the motor. So I basically just built myself a simple tool, to which just uses one of the lifter bolts, and it pushes it down. You can take your clips off, and then I can swap the springs out. So the difference in the springs, that's a stock spring, and this is the aftermarket one for the cam. You can see it's bigger, quite a bit bigger. So it's got more. This is good for, I think, 600 lift or 590 or something like that. So I don't know what the stock one's good for, but anyway, so I'm basically just swapping all these out, and I just do one cylinder at a time. It pressurizes it. If you don't do that and do this, there's a good chance your valve will just fall down into the cylinder, which is not fun, and you got to pull the head off. So this is essentially the way you would do it on the car if you're doing a cam swap in the car, but whatever. Because my motor's together and I torque the head down, I'm just doing it this way and be done with it. So anyways, I'm gonna continue on, finish up this side, and then I can button up the valve train, and I guess I'm gonna try to clean this up so I can stab an intake on it and stuff. Once that's done, then I can get to cutting my oil pans. I just wanted to get this all closed up so I can get underneath there and flip it, close it up, and I can get some aluminum dust everywhere. That's gonna happen. Well, as much as I hate doing these, it can only put this off for so long before a fella just has to cut this stuff. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grind off the few little bits because they're not relevant after. Make sure I don't have a gasket on there. Nope. So they're not really relevant, so I'm basically gonna slice out this section. I just kind of mask it around, but I gotta cut just this ear off, this stuff. I'm gonna cut through this stuff here. That way I can do a slice. This lid will go down. There'll be a little bit of a gap up here, but that's no big deal to fill. Still some splooge in there, but I'll deal with it when I get there. So yeah, fun. So I basically gotta do this times 2. So I'll get the ball rolling on this one, and I'll get the ball rolling on this one. Yuck. So these are all cut. They're not the, they're still going to be garbage to weld, so I'm kind of going to have to, I'm going to throw this in the sandblaster, see if I can make this a little more pleasurable by blasting around all the edges, and then I might come in with the torch a little bit just to pull some of the impurities out. This stuff's usually super crappy to weld. Actually, it is super crappy to weld. But anyways, yeah, you take quite a bit out. I didn't do quite the 2-inch, but I don't know. You lose about a liter of oil, so I don't know. You kind of need the pan clearance. And with the older cars, I'm not sure about the Tri-5, but I know my 54, like the steering rides, it kind of does its thing up in the front, so you can't really run like a different sump or anything like that. So this kind of is what it is. A lot of guys do this, so this is on the cheap. Just takes time more than anything. The welding can be very, very frustrating, but I'm going to try to do everything and see if I can make this a little more pleasurable. I think if a guy had a spool gun, this would almost be like way easier, because it doesn't seem to care if it's a little dirty or not. Whereas TIG welding, it's like, ugh, no, it does not like that. But anyways, I'm going to throw these in the blast cabinet and then give them a quick blast, and we'll see how they look. Surprisingly, it's kind of going okay, but the problem with an air-cooled torch is it gets so hot you can't hold it after a while, so it's pretty ugly. It's kind of what it is. I usually scratch it up, put some JB Weld over it after. Golden. I don't have, it's so, I guess, dirty or whatever, being a cast. So anyways, I'm going to finish this one up and then do the same there. So this is probably going to take at least an hour or two, probably more, waiting for the torch to cool down. So yeah, just keep plugging away. Well, I've found a windshield. Nobody has them new. At least nobody in Canada has them, or our local guys can't find it. So, found somebody on Marketplace has a windshield for sale. It's on the other side of the province, but at least I have a windshield for the car. Doesn't even look bad. Like, the rubber's actually really soft and pliable. So, although I'm gonna have to find somebody to put it in because there's no way I want to deal with this stuff. But that's cool. Anyways, car is in the shop. Pretty much gonna lift it up. I'm gonna go over the front end because I am super mixed whether I'm gonna keep the stock front end in or clip this thing. Come on, cooperate. Help me out here. There we go. So, I'm not opposed to using these stock front ends. There's nothing wrong with them as far as I'm concerned. Might be a little weird with the LS, but I don't know. Like, I'm just very mixed with it. The clip is like adds a whole element more work, but on that note makes the car that much more valuable. So the fact that it'll have power steering, power brakes, I personally don't care. They'll run and drive fine. It stops fine. But yeah, that is the plan. Is to get her in the air and see what we got. See what we're working with. We already know we got to swap the diff out. And then if I do put disc brakes and stuff on it, then at least I can do I have that Exploder 8.8 that I could use in the back. That's a disc brake rear, which probably has good gears, has a posi. It's got a whole lot of good going for it. So I've been looking at my video footage, realizing a lot of time has lapsed between when I was last working on this motor. Nothing has changed. The motor's together, I think. I think that's where I was at. And I was welding up these oil pans. And then that car came in and you've seen one of the oil pans and I kind of showed what I was doing here. So this is the second pan, to which I still gotta goop up. I gotta clean this up a little bit, and then I'm just gonna goop it with some, fix it in a squeeze tube. So I gotta do that. I still have to put in a return line, so I'm not sure where I'm doing that yet, but all I'm gonna do is drill a hole for, I don't know, this must be like a heater vent off of like a Honda or something, I don't know. But I might just weld that into my oil pan somewhere randomly so that I could return my turbo return line. I don't really know where it's got to go, but I should randomly put it. 'Cause I think on my one car I put it somewhere around here or something. I don't know. We'll pick a spot and go with it. And if it doesn't work, then whatever, it doesn't work. I'll deal with it then, but so we'll do that. That way we can button that up. I still got to shorten this one. Because I took like 2 inches out of the pan, I got to shorten this up about yay much. There's a lot of weird ways you can go about this, but I usually just tack the thing down, cut my bracket, go down, kind of go eyeball off of this thing level and that kind of jazz, just to make sure she stays square. When I drop it down, buzz it up, burn this tab back on, should be good. So anyways, we got to do that, and then we pretty much have our motors all together. Yeah, let's finish this up, and we can at least call my motor together. Not that it's ready for the car yet or anything, but we've at least built the motor. Well, my return line's on. I just gooped everything up to seal it because I don't trust my welds. So you pretty much let that dry. I still got to cut this down. I'm not feeling it right now. It's kind of dark. I got a long drive tomorrow to go grab a windshield for this thing. So yeah, it's where I am tonight. You know, made her back. We got our glass. I have to figure out a way to put it in yet. It's not too bad. A little cloudy around the edges, but nothing too bad. And some wiper marks, but I guess that stuff will buff out. I did get a full extra set of chrome for around the front, so I guess that's a bonus. Kind of see how some of it works. But at least we got that. That's cool. That kind of dulls up the glass. We got everything else. It was just my windshield that was bunk. Now I'll have to do a whole bunch of, like, when I get around to it, a whole bunch of interior stuff. I'd like to have a nice interior in this car. That would be my goal. To have some nicely upholstered seats, whether I do them or I farm it out, because I really don't enjoy doing these. They're actually a lot of work. But we'll see. Because I'm cheap, I'll probably end up doing it myself. Probably got to tear the headliner out. It looks kind of screwy, like not very good. But other than that, like I say, I'm running the mechanical, everything, so I'm really hoping I can run all the gauges, the stock gauges. That is the plan. But well, it does not look like I have any gaskets, so I got to order some. I don't have anything for a water pump, and I don't have any for an intake. So this gets put on hold for now until I order some parts. We'll actually get to the car for a change here. I guess I'm going to scoot it back a little bit and have a look underneath. See which way or how I want to go about to doing this thing. I got a feeling that I'm going to clip the car. But yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, and then I got my windshield today for it. I'm not looking forward to doing that, to putting it in, because I think that's going to suck. Can't say I've ever done one with the trim on it, so I'd rather pay somebody to do it, but I don't think I know anybody that does that stuff. Okay. Let's put some air in that tire, shove her back a bit, see how bad she is underneath. I'm pretty sure she's pretty good though. It's not too bad. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make a fuel tank or something. I looked on Rock Auto, they don't have any. So I'm kind of on the fence there what to do. But I did know the floor was bad, but that's not even that bad. Yeah, this one's like a factory automatic. Look at the size of that thing. Holy, that is crazy. Anyways, driver's floor a little bit there, but look how solid. All these body boxes, everything. Man, hey, like the car looks kind of crunchy outside, but is it nice. So here's where I'm mixed, whether I actually clip this car. I'd want to run the stock front end. Like I'm not opposed to that. I couldn't care less. It'd be fine. But to put disc brakes on this car costs so much for us up here. The best I found was Speedway, but by the time they ship it and do everything, just to get disc brakes on it, I'm going to be, man, like almost $800. That's crazy. So I might just put an S10 clip in it because I have it and it's $0, and then I'll get power steering and disc brakes. The only reason why, like, I don't care, drum brakes are fine. There's going to be a bit of power in this car though, so I might want to actually have good brakes. As for the rear end, I have an 8.8, so it's a disc brake rear end, so it's kind of whatever. But at least I can run that diff then. So it's got the posi and everything else. I mean, everything else is super solid on this car. Like you're saying, just that little bit of floor, which is really nothing to fix. What is that? Oh, antenna. And I know the wiring and stuff looks good in this car, so I don't have to rewire it, or I wasn't planning on it. I'll just have to deal with the bumper, the front cradle, and then I think there's some of this junk here between this and this cross member I'll have to deal with. Clipping a car is so much work. But then I guess I'll get rid of the floor brake. I'll put some swinging pedals in it. I'm thinking that is going to be my game plan. Ugh. So the motor's pretty much ready to go, other than I need some gaskets and seals. The plan is to put a Turbo 400 behind that thing. So I have a shift kit and a stall for it. I guess one of the next things I'm going to do is I'm going to put that shift kit into there. That way I could kind of bolt these up together. I'll have to get some spark plugs, some gaskets, and then that thing can go together, be done. Well, this is working out not too terrible. Like I said before, I would put disc brakes on here, but it's expensive. Priced it out from Speedway and it's on back order. That's $400 and some. And by the time you convert that, that's $5 something. And then throw shipping on it, you're about $850 just for a disc brake kit. That's a lot of money. So I was either going to go S10, but I've sourced out two. I have one friend of mine has a Jaguar. So I'm thinking, I've heard of stories guys using the Jaguar clips because they unbolt and then they kind of bolt them in similar to the way the Chevy is done. And it has a Chevy bolt pattern on them already. Rack pinion, disc brake. So that I don't have to cut the front of the car. So I'm really leaning not to do that. I really don't want to. Other than that, you make a couple brackets and then the thing just bolts in place. So hopefully that deal works through. It works out. That'd be nice. But anyway, this one kind of, I feel it's dragging on. I haven't got that far. But basically the idea we're going with this thing is going to be, like I say, the 6-liter Turbo LS, Turbo 400. I'll have to go check my diff now because I'll probably run that 8.8 in the back. Just because I'll be having, hopefully, well, regardless of what I do, I'm going to have disc brake all around. So then that'll remove this off of this. This plate's going to remove, and a set of swinging pedals will probably go in. Makes the easiest, and I can do that with power brakes and all that stuff. I do have a new master for the car, but being the single pot under the car will be good for a stock application, not so much for this one. But anyways, as always guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.